Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Kay and welcome to today's video. Today I'd like to share a testimony of heartbreak, forgiveness and provision. Many years ago, I was engaged to marry somebody else and we had dated for about 7 years. And of course at first everything was very rosy, very beautiful. But then after the engagement, things started going downhill. And when I say engagement, wazazi wake walikuja na mahari pia ikatolewa, yani kila kitu, dowry, everything was done. So the only thing that was remaining was of course the wedding, which now we were to plan and then get married. And so when things started going downhill, I started of course praying for him and just trusting God that things would change and that he will still want to get married to me, just like he was when we actually got engaged. But of course things did not change. And I'd like to say this first of all, that this is not a story of a saint and sinner. During our courtship, we had hurt each other. I had hurt him and he had hurt me. But now of course towards the end, tulikuwa tunajua tunafaa tuoane, so we were committed to each other. Now he started seeing somebody else towards the end now of this relationship, and I found out. But what was I doing? I thought I could just pray. Sometimes of course I would confront him and he'd deny it, but you know this is happening. So I prayed about it and I prayed for him that he would end that relationship and so that we continue with our plans. But the more I prayed, the more things got worse. And he started getting very, very frustrated even being with me. So ni kama ile kukuwa na mimi out of obligation, not because he really wanted to. And because of the respect that he had for my family and for his family, I believe it was very difficult for him to end the relationship. So his heart already belongs to somebody else. It doesn't belong to me. I can see it in his eyes. I can see it in his actions. Hanitaki, ashanichoka, amenishiba, but sasa atafanyaje, ni kama yuko kwenye net. He's not able to get out, he's not even able to breathe. So nikimwongelesha mambo ya harusi hataki, nikimwelezea hivi au vile hana interest, he doesn't love me anymore of course. So nikaanza kusema, I spoke to myself and kaji advise, this relationship is over. It was over a long time ago. What do I need to do? Of course, my responsibility is just to be brave enough, courageous, and end the relationship. Because yeye hangeweza, nafikiri, kwa sababu ile heshima alikuwa nayo kwa wazazi wangu. Sasa when we met, nikampatia engagement ring yake na nika end your relationship. Now, I did not end the relationship because I was like, good riddance. No. I ended it because it was over. As much as I loved him, I wanted to get married to him, I knew he doesn't want me anymore. So ilikuwa ni ile tu kukuwa brave na kusema ni sawa, wacha nimwache akwe free and akwe happy. So of course ile machungu nikaanza kusikia, it was extremely painful because sasa najua nimempatia opportunity ya kuendelea sasa vizuri na huyu msichana wake mwingine, na if anybody asks or questions why we broke up, who was going to be blamed? Of course, it's me. Mimi ndo nime break up na yeye, sio yeye. So it was a very, very dark time in my life. A very, very terrible, horrible season for me. Any time, any chance I got to be alone was an opportunity to cry. I would cry myself to sleep. Nikiamka katikati ya usiku nitalia tena. In the morning before I leave my room, then I'll still cry and mourn for him. It was a very bad time. So I happened to travel to Mombasa to visit a relative. Now on my way back, sasa ile tumeenda kwa basi, kupandia basi, pia yeye relatives wake walikuwa wameenda kumtembelea. So alikuwa amewadrop pale stage. Now tukakutana of course kusalimiana ni nini, nika realize kwa gari ile girlfriend yake alikuwa pale kwa gari. So of course they were just dropping relatives alafu warudi. So nilipomwona sasa ule uchungu tena ni kama ikakuwa magnified at that time. I was already in a lot of pain, but then kind of magnified at that time, because I was thinking now ingekuwa ni mimi with him, not this other person. Sasa nikasema sasa tutaingia kwenye basi saa ngapi, stima zizimwe, nianze tena kulia. Of course tukaingia kwa basi. Uzuri wao relatives wake walikuwa wanapanda hiyo basi nyingine, mimi napanda nyingine. So penye nilikuwa nimekaa ni pande ya dirisha. So stima zikazimwa, nikageuza kichwa, nikaanza sasa hiyo morning. Nikalia, nikamwambia Mungu, kwa nini lakini hukumbadilisha huyu mtu? I prayed for him honestly with all my heart. I believe that you have the power to change anyone that you want to change. Why didn't you change him? You know, he was meant to be my husband, I was meant to be his wife. Sasa naongea hizi vitu zote na machungu na nalia, niko na majonzi. Of course, sasa hiyo ukumbuki kwamba kuna free will, you know. People have free will. The only thing God can do is to guide you, but you have to make your own choice, you know. He said before you life and death, you're the one who chooses. He cannot like twist somebody's arm and force them to marry you. Of course he cannot do that. Ni wewe mwenyewe ndio utachagua, unasema sawa ama sio sawa, you know. There is free will which he cannot tamper with. But in any case, this situation will end up hivi for my own good. Yeah, it was a good thing that we did not end up getting married, because it was a disaster waiting to happen anyway. Sasa hiyo haukumbuki hizi vitu zote. Wewe unajua tu Mungu ana power ya kuchange mtu, angefaa mbadilishe huyu mtu, you know, and all that. So uzuri safari si ni ya usiku, so kuna ile unasinzia kidogo, unalala, alafu unaamka, unasinzia tena, unaamka. So nikiamka tena naendelea na hiyo process. Macho yalikuwa yamefura, it was just terrible. Now at some point, sasa ile nimeamka katikati ya usiku, uko mbele ya safari, niko kwenye hiyo process ya kulia, nasikia uchungu, yani ningekuwa ni mimi kwenye ile gari, ningekuwa ni mimi niko na huyu mtu, ningekuwa nimeolewa, you know, this was meant to be my husband. So I'm in that pain and I'm like blaming God for the pain that I'm going through, because I know he has the power, he could have done something about it. Now I hear this voice. This voice was very, very direct, very strong and very firm. I wish I had the words to explain that tone of voice. I don't think I can get words to explain it. But this voice said to me, kama ni maswali, it was asking me questions. And the questions were like, do you want a man who doesn't love you? Do you want a man who doesn't care about you? Do you want a man who looks at other women? Do you want a man who doesn't listen to you? You know, sasa zinaenda, questions zinakuja. So ile voice vile ilikuwa very strong. It drowned my feelings at that time. So nikaa nimepause, you know, it's like I stopped in my tracks. And I listened to this voice, na ilipoisha ile sauti, nikafuta machozi at that time, and then I started thinking, I believe God saw, Mungu ameshaona mbele, na alijua I'm not meant for him, he's not meant for me. So he kind of intervened by his own mercies. So I wish I could say that after kusikia ile sauti nikakuwa healed instantly. No. It did not happen like that. But when I got home, because of hearing that voice, I made a conscious decision to forgive this guy and to heal from this pain. So I told God to help me to heal and to forgive him. So I asked for help, because I knew on my own I cannot do it, obviously. You know, hiyo pain na machungu ambayo niko nayo, there is no way that I was going to do it on my own. So I asked for help. Now, shortly after that, uzuri wa kusikia ile sauti ilinisaidia in a way, because sometimes nilikuwa nalia, yes, nasikia uchungu, but then again, saa ingine nakumbuka ile sauti, nakumbuka zile questions, and then I say, mimi ndio nimesaidika. Yeah, it was for my own good. So I encourage myself sometimes. Now, I believe that God speaks to us in dreams. So nikaanza kuona ndoto. So the first dream I had about this couple, now my ex and the girlfriend, ilikuwa ya my ex amekuwa involved in a very, very bad accident, a terrible accident. and in this accident he dies. But then I know that it is not his time to die, and my responsibility is to pray for him. Of course, naamka kwenye ile ndoto na niko zile za Mungu, nilikuambia unisaidie nipone, but you cannot really ask me to pray for this person. You know, even if I do, it would not be an honest prayer. It would not come from my heart. It will be fake, you know, because I don't want to pray for him. I'm still in the process of healing from this pain that he caused me. So I don't think it is wise to ask me to pray. Just find somebody else to pray for him. But of course, after kuongea zote, I still decided, hey, I asked for help. Na God has his ways of helping people. Yangu ni tofauti, yako inaweza kuwa tofauti. So this is the path he's chosen for me. So I made a decision, I'm going to pray for this person. So nikaanza kumwombea. But of course, mara ya kwanza, lip service, it did not come from my heart. My mind was not there. My heart was not in it. Ni mdomo tu naongea maneno. Lakini nikasema I'll continue. So naendelea hivyo hivyo. The next day naendelea naomba. Paka eventually I found that I was actually praying from my heart. Sikuwa sasa ni ile fake prayer anymore. It was a true prayer that I was praying for somebody as if it was my own brother. I would pray with all my heart, and I was very happy about it. And then after that, tena nikaota another dream. Now this time I'm seeing huyu girlfriend wake yuko pregnant na kuna complication na mtoto pia kuna condition fulani ambao inaweza cause hata alose maisha yake. Of course, my responsibility, I know the drill by now, is to pray. I complain, I tell God, this is so difficult. How can he ask me to pray for my enemies, you know? It's not fair. He should find another way of healing me, you know. So, of course, a lot of things, a lot of complaints and murmuring, but God in his mercies, he just helped me. So, because na mimi nilikuwa committed kusema ile prayer, nikaanza. Mara kwanza, of course, ni mdomo tu naongea. I don't mean the prayers. It's fake. But then, with time, I found that I was praying honestly and honestly with a lot of love for this girl and for this unborn baby. So nikaomba mpaka nikafeel relieved. Hiyo time yote, nilikuwa na a lot of dreams about this couple, and I would just pray. And I would pray about it mpaka na feel niko released. So at some point, hizo dreams zote zikakatika. I would not dream anything anymore. But then I realized I was okay in my heart. I was no longer bitter. I was no longer angry. Hata nikiwafikiria, hata kama mtoto, I'm not bleeding anymore. It's like God actually handed me a brand new heart, honestly speaking, because I did not feel anything anymore for them. And there was no pain, there was nothing. I was actually even grateful that the relationship ended because I knew Mungu alikuwa ameona mbele. So fast forward 2 years later, my sister and I still living with our parents, and we need to move out from home. And we know that it is time for us to move out, but hata tukileta zile pesa zetu ambazo tunapata pamoja haingetoshea ku move out, ama tunge move out, but it would have been quite a bit of a struggle. So we prayed and trusted God. Mimi nikamwambia Mungu make a way for us because it is time for us to move out, na yeye pia ndiye ametu guide, so atusaidie na kutuprovidea. Sasa tukawa tumeshaona nyumba ile ambayo tunataka kuhama. Sasa tuko kwenye ile hali ya kupanga na nini. Bado hata tujahama, but now, you know, planning ahead. I receive a phone call from my ex. Sasa nilipopata ile simu, aniambia tukasalimiana ni nini, alafu aniambia nataka kukuona na siwezi kukuongelesha kwa simu. Ni vizuri uje tuonane ndio tuweze kuongea. So nikamwambia basi wacha nifikirie and then I'll call you back. So nikifikiria nikata simu, nafikiria nasema maybe ni closure. You know, so many things are going through my mind, but I'm like, I know he's married. Na sasa hivi kuna mtoto, ni nini, maisha yameendelea. Sasa inaweza kuwa nini? So nikasema labda ni closure, tuende tusameheane kwa ile makosa tulifanyana tukiwa kwenye ile courtship yetu na tuachane vizuri. So that is the only thing that came to mind, but I had a lot of peace about going to see him. So alikuwa ameniambia atalipa tikiti, everything itakuwa responsibility yake. So he paid for the ticket, nikaenda nikakaa kwa relative wangu, so the next day tukamit. Tulipo meet kulikuwa na friends na relatives, so ikawa ile story tu ya kukatch up nini. Akanionyesha picha, akaniambia this is my daughter. Nikaangalia ile picha, mtoto mrembo kweli. Akaniambia sasa mtoto ni Mungu tu ndiye alimsaidia. You know, there was so many complications and the baby was born with this condition nini. So kuniambia mimi nilikuwa nimeshasahau zile story. Ndio nikakumbuka, remember the other time that I was praying, you know, some 2 years ago, I was praying about this girl. So I was very, very much encouraged that it was not just praying in vain. Kumbe there was something that was actually happening. So I was very thankful for that. And then at the same time, tena akaniambia ujue ungekuwa umeitwa mazishi, ningekuwa nimekufa kwa accident mbaya sana. That ingemua, naambia tu hiyo accident kwa iniue. Yani ni Mungu tu alispare life yangu. So of course I remember the dreams. I'm not saying anything. So kapia asante basi kwa Mungu mtoto yuko sawa, na pia asante kwa Mungu that your life was spared. So tukaongea hivyo na tuka catch up ile kawaida. Then later on he took me out for dinner because tulikuwa tunafaa tuongee sasa, ndio anielezee ile setup ya kwanza with friends and relatives, of course atungeza kuongea. So tukiwa dinner ndiye akanielezea that he wants me back, that his relationship with this girl did not work. Sasa hiyo mimi mwenyewe I'm thriving in my singlehood. Nishapona, I have this brand new heart. I don't have anything in my heart, any malice, any bitterness, nothing. And now I know for sure that this relationship yangu mimi naye haikukuwa meant to be. I know for sure, I know for a fact. So nikamwelezea sisi hii relationship haifai, haitafaa. Na hata wewe haukuwa meant kuwa wangu na mimi sikuwa meant kuwa wako. So tukisema tutalazimisha, sisi ndio tutaumia na tutaenda tena kuhatiana. So there is no point. Yeah? You move on. I'm hoping you get somebody else. Hopefully mtaweza kureconcile, but if that doesn't happen, I hope you get somebody else. But mimi na wewe, it can never be. So of course ananiambia uwezi fikiria, labda uende, think about it, give it time. Like no, there is nothing to think about. This is not meant to be, period. Nikamwelezea uzuri, akaelewa, mtu wa watu, nashukuru. Kaelewa. So tukaanza kuongea wenyewe, tukila tunaongea tu sa stories za kawaida. Akaanza sasa vipi nini. So mimi naambia sisi washukuru, pia tuendelea vizuri, hata mimi na dada yangu tunahama hivi, tumeona tumeshakuwa watu wakubwa, we want to move off from home. So when I mentioned that, he immediately says, please let me pay your rent. I'm like, kivipi itakuwaje nini, maana sitaki kulipiwa rent alafu you are expected to, you know, do 1 2 3. Na akaniambia no strings attached, nimeelewa chenye umenielezea, I just want to help, please allow me to do this, I really want to do this for you. So na mimi nikasema yenyewe, you know, sometimes you tell God to help you with something, he might not come in the direction that you're expecting, he can come na opposite direction. So nikamwambia ni sawa, nikajua in case akianza kunisumbua, I'll just tell him nistaki kulipiwa tena rent. So nikarudi, sisi tukahama, and true to his word, every month he would send my rent. My rent was 6,000 bob. He would send it faithfully every month. And he was a true gentleman. He never bothered me ama kunisumbua nini. There was nothing like that. He would just send the rent faithfully on a monthly basis. And it's not that he had all this money in the world. He actually was making a sacrifice to help me. I'm very thankful and grateful to God for that. Na nashukuru sana Mungu aliweza kumtumia. So after a while, sasa, I think he paid the rent for about 9 months. I think almost a year. I'm not so sure for how long, but it was for quite some time. Uzuri sasa, mimi penye nilikuwa nafanya, ofisi ikakuwa established, and now I'm on a salary. So niko na salary, and then I met now my husband to be. Tukamit na tulikuwa sasa tunapanga kwamba tutakuja tuoane. So at this time nika realize wakati umefika niweze kumwambia, niweze kumrelieve of this responsibility, because sasa at least I can manage, because niko na salary yangu, nashukuru, na I've met somebody nataka na inaendelea kwa wedding ya, kwa marriage rather. So I told him, nikamwelezea asante sana kwa usaidizi wako, but from now tuko sawa, kwa hivyo tutaweza kuendelea kujisort. Tumeshukuru sana. Of course, being the gentleman that he is, akaniambia ni sawa, but in case mkiwa nahitaji usaidizi wote, just let me know. Sawa, tukamaliza na hivyo. So mwenyewe nikaendelea, nikapanga paka harusi yangu. So one day before my wedding, I received a text from him. And he tells me, he used to call me my lady. So he says, my lady, I have heard that you're getting married. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best. Na mimi pia nikamtumia, nikamwambia pia asante na pia nakutakia mazuri. Na hivyo ikaisha hivyo. Na nashukuru tukaachana vizuri, na Mungu pia akawa amemtumia. Ikawa ni wakati wa majonzi, nikapona, na Mungu bado akamtumia yeye tena kuwa of a great help when I really, really needed that help. So why am I saying this? Why am I telling you this story? I'm not saying that if you forgive your ex or somebody who has really, really hurt you, they are going to end up buying you a car or giving you a house or buying you a gift. I'm not saying that. That will probably never happen. It doesn't happen actually. But what I'm saying is, when you forgive, when you let go of people, when you release people, you're actually releasing yourself. All this time when you're in bitterness and pain and heartache, you're actually in prison. And there is no way that you can reach your full potential as a person if you're in a prison. So, prison break free from the prison. It is a very, very difficult thing to do. It's not easy. It's easier said than done actually. But you have to make that conscious decision that I'm going to forgive, I'm going to get out of this bitterness, and I'm going to heal. If you need to pray, go ahead and pray. If you need to go for therapy, then go and see a therapist. Do everything in your power to get out of pain, to release people, because then you're actually releasing yourself. So I think I'll end this video here. I hope that you have been inspired by my story and my testimony and encouraged. And kindly, I'll request that you like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe. I'd really appreciate also if you just press that notification button so that next time I post a new video, you will be notified about it. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.